We've made our Ditsy Daisies. Now let's make our tulips. So our pattern says take 4 5" by 5" pieces. So these are our 4 5" by 5" pieces. And then it says take 1 2.5" piece, and we're just gonna add 1 snowball to the corner. Just a minute ago, making the Ditsy Daisies, we added 1 to each corner, 3 of them. This time we're just gonna add to 1 corner of each of the yellow blocks. Now I'm choosing yellow because I already have some of the others sewn and it's gonna make it really pretty in my row of flowers. So I've added a 2.5" by 2.5" square to each one of these, and now we're just going to sew on a diagonal just like we did earlier. Now I'm not marking mine because we already talked about this. It's a small area, but if you want to mark yours, I want you to. I'm going to sew from corner to corner with a straight stitch, back stitching when I start and when I stop because my grandma said so. There's a free download link located in the caption of this video. Download your pattern, get your fabrics, and make this quilt with me. We've sewn these, so what we're going to do is the same thing we did a minute ago. We're just going to come and clip the corner off like this, just like that. Easy, easy. Then we're going to open it up and iron it, and then we're going to sew it together, and that's going to be the top of our tulip. Okay, I'm going to go iron mine. You go iron yours. I'll be right back. Okay, this is what we have. Now we're going to arrange our tulip like this, and we're going to sew it together. We're going to sew it together by taking 1 block, laying it face down on top of a block that's face up, lining up our edges, and sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4" seam. And yes, we're back stitching because y'all know my grandma told me if I didn't, my stuff would fall apart. We're gonna sew the other 2 the same way. Okay, I'm going back to iron again. I'll be right back. I'm back. Now, we're gonna pick these up. We've laid it out. Now we want to make sure our block looks like this. Our small pieces up here and down here at the corner. We're going to pick them up and lay them pretty side to pretty side, lining up this seam right here and this seam. We're going to straight stitch, 1/4" seam all the way down the side. We're putting it together just like we've sewn our blocks together. All right, here is your tulip top. Look how cute it is. Now let's do the leaves. Okay, our pattern says to take 2 10" squares, and this is so confusing to my students, so I'm going to tell y'all how I teach my beginners. So what I want you to do is take 2 squares of fabric that are 4 3/4 inches. All right, and I know we're not down with the 1/8 and the 7/8, and I get all that, okay? And cut it on a diagonal. You're going to have 1 piece that's a color and 1 piece that's a solid. This square started as 4 3/4. Cut in a diagonal, and then I had some pink squares cut that way and some green squares cut that way, okay? So it was like this, cut in a diagonal, like this, cut in a diagonal. Then I picked up 1 pink square, 1 green square, sewed it together, opened it up, and ironed it. This is what you have, and it's a quilt block that is 4.5 inches. Now, after you've done that, you're going to get a strip of fabric that is 1.5 by 8.5 inch stem. So this stem is 1.5 by 8.5. And I don't know why I sewed this together. I'm going to take it apart so I can show y'all how I did it, but it's really not difficult at all. Now, the instructions tell you how to cut so you can get the green stems out of your layer cake, but it was not super easy to understand, I didn't think, and so I just cut my strips. It tells you the final end result of what size your strip should be, and I just cut my strips by that instead of trying to cut off of a 10" piece of fabric and then cut it a different way. And I'm not really good at reading patterns, so there are tons of other creators out there, lots of sewing teachers who are really good at reading patterns. I'm just trying to show you what made it easy for me to get through the pattern. Let me go iron this. We started with solid blocks that were 4 3/4. We cut them on a diagonal, we sewed them back together. We have 4 total half square triangles. And now you're going to put them together so they make a pretty leaf shape. You see that leaf shape? Now we're going to sew them together like this. So we're going to lay 1 pretty side down on top of the other one and sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4" seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. So I've sewn both of mine. Wait, I have it upside down. Backwards. Now what we're going to do is take our 1.5 by 8.5 inch strip. Do you see that? And we're just going to sew it to each side of our leaf block. So we're gonna take this leaf block, turn it over, sew down this side. We're gonna open it up and take this leaf block, turn it that way, and sew down that side. So easy. We're sewing it the same way we've been sewing everything else. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam. This is one of those patterns that I would have drooled over as a beginner, but I would never have had the confidence to try this. But it really is simple. Okay, here's our tulip sleeves. Do you see how precious that is? Now, I'm gonna go iron mine, you go iron yours. I'll be right back. I'm back. Now, can you guess how this is gonna go together? Yep, pretty side to pretty side. We're gonna straight stitch right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. And we're gonna have such a cute tulip. And here's our tulip. Isn't that precious? Now, we need 10 of these for our quilt too. So you need 10 tulips and 10 of the Ditsy Daisies. So you meet me right back here and we'll put our flowers together to make the Tulip Fields Quilt. And don't forget to get your free download. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher and I would love for you to come sew with me.